Hi and good evening. Welcome to the Fake News Hour. I am your host, Roger Rockwell, and thank you for joining me. Today we've got some great stories of social justice and gassings and kike murdering and kike killing and pedal power roller coasters of doom. Get the whiskey out for this one. You're going to need it. First story comes to us from our good friends at NPCDaily.com. Captain Marvel isn't a transgender person of color, and that's problematic, guys. It's time for the Marvel comic universe to acknowledge our homosexual liberal values. A long-anticipated movie from the Marvel Comics universe is hitting theaters in 2019. Come March, people will be lining up to see Captain Marvel, Marvel's latest superhero that will undoubtedly save the world from yet another catastrophe headed its way in the form of an increase in tampon prices and no toilet paper when the bitch sits down on the toilet. Captain Marvel is indeed a female protagonist, one of very few in the Marvel Comics universe, but given today's requirements for progressive culture, this simply isn't enough. She has to be a full-blown communist, dyke, lesbian, transgenderist. Captain Marvel would have been Marvel's golden opportunity. You hear that, Marvel? You're missing out on the gravy train full of trannies and nut and dicks and prostitution and every other form of degenerate filth that you can even think of. To either cast a transgender person of color, there you go, your dick's falling off, you're missing a dick cut off train, you're missing it, get on it, goodbye, the train's gone, you don't get to chop your dick off today, Stan Lee. As Captain Marvel herself, or for Captain Marvel to be portrayed as a transgender person of color. It only makes sense, and I would use expletives, but I would get kicked off of YouTube. But we all know what person of color really means. It only makes sense, and it's what we expected, but Marvel let us down. Now, Captain Marvel will be just another cisgender normative production catering to the male fantasy of a beautiful feminine heroine. No different than Tomb Raider or Katniss. Quote comes from Alex Samuelson of the Furburger. A bunch of other shit I can't read. I'm from the South. You gotta use smaller words. I was so excited when I heard that Captain Marvel was going to be a movie, but I broke down in tears when I saw the trailer. Captain Marvel was cast as a regular blonde bimbo and not a marginalized minority. How will we ever function? The minorities. We can only hope that in Avengers 4, Marvel brings back everyone killed off in Avengers 3 as transgender people of color. You hear that, Hollywood? You hear that, Marvel? You hear that? You're going to get your second chance to get on the train that cuts your dick off with my science cock. If Marvel truly wants to be accepted by the progressive liberal movement of its millennial viewers, there needs to be a nod of acknowledgement to the gay pride community displayed prominently during one of the climatic scenes in the next Marvel blockbuster. Strap yourself in, we're going straight from Brokeback Mountain, right up Vagina Slim's Canyon, straight to pure butt-fucking in superhero costumes on the big screen! With my science cock! Until then, we can only assume the Marvel is a racist, bigoted, and xenophobic company, dead set on oppressing cisgendered non-whites. Fuck the whites, put them on cattle cars, that's it, you're out of here, we're on the next train to cut your dick off canyon, right up to seeing that butt fucking on the big screen! It's sickening, and I have to agree, that is sickening. I just can't, guys. It is the year 2018. We're all trannies now. Look here, you bunch of hook-nosed bigot Jews in Hollywood. I demand you reboot Captain Marvel just like when you rebooted Batman and you ruined it. And you give that fat white sandwich maker a science cock with my science cock. And that was the first article there, ladies and gentlemen. And the next one, our last one of the night, Trump approves furry hunting license. Now, to those of you out there in the audience who may or may not know what a furry is, okay, it is a demented, psychologically damaged human being that puts on Winnie the Pooh costumes and Tigger costumes, and they spring up and down on Tigger's dick in the back of a Pizza Hut or a Walmart, depending on which region you may or may not be in. Now, see, back when white men founded the country, they would throw these things in these places called mental asylums, and they would shock the living furry out of them. Trump's America claims another ethnic minority as a victim, this time being the humble furry community. The new furry hunting license has been overwhelmingly approved by the Republican Party, despite fierce resistance from Democrats who want to give the people of fur protected status. Many furries have refused an interview in order to conceal their identities in these dark times, but we have been able to question a member of the Furry Transgender Alliance known as Clyde Uric Carter Kevinson. He sounds like a neckbeard, who prefers to go by Zer Fasona Blaze Thunderwolf. That sounds like a Mega Man X boss with a boner. We asked what Zer thought about the pressing issue. Yes, please, Zer, please tell us, what do you think about getting a bullet right in your fucking head where it fucking belongs, and then your body desecrated and thrown in a mass unmarked grave while we pile dirt and shit over you? I haven't felt safe since the evil Orange Menace declared this new license. No longer can I express my culture by wearing my fursuit in public, and no longer can I masturbate in the dog park anymore without fear of being sniped. Just yesterday, 12 cis white heterosexual males with rifles chased me through a forest after they caught me stroking their pit bull. You son of a bitch. You ought to get your head ripped off by that damn dog. I managed to escape and hide in my mom's basement for a week. I can't even. I'm too afraid to walk outside anymore. I don't want to be some neo-Nazi's carpet rug. Well, a neo-Nazi wouldn't want you to be a rug. A neo-Nazi wouldn't want you anywhere near their home, let alone inside of their home. No, where a neo-Nazi would want you is inside of a mass unmarked grave after your body has been doused with gasoline and you've been set on fire or used as jet fuel. Ever since the incident, Blaze has fixed Zer home state to live with Zer boyfriend and fellow furry survivors in a sanctuary in California. That's where, you know what, California is no longer a state. See, we had to have a place to stick all the crazy people, so we let California be this kind of this mental asylum, but we didn't call it that. It attracts all these crazy people, and all this craziness, all this negative energy, it makes God mad, and that's why God burns up all of those people. And you say, but wait a minute, Roger, wait a minute. Aren't there innocent good people in California? No, because innocent and good people wouldn't tolerate the presence of evil, sadistic, furry fucking pit bull jacking off psychopaths. Good people would stop them. Good people would purge them. Good people, at the very least, would flee that place, never to let that evil escape the boundaries of communist California. There, the now endangered people of fur may live in harmony and continue to practice their dynamic and brave culture without being persecuted. Yes, I believe the furries are going to fit in just fine in communist California. Trump has made a statement on the issue after being questioned furiously by NPC daily reporters. Here's what he had to say. We can't have these fucking freaky cunts going around raping our cats and dogs. My hamster got raped twice last week. Enough is enough. I'll kill all those hamster fuckers if I have to, and no retarded Democrat is going to stop me. If they want to be animals, we can shoot them like animals. The only good furry is a dead furry. Quite frankly, this is blatant furry phobia, and it has gone on for too long. Many other furry allies believe that the furry community has been marginalized for far too long, and it's disgusting that furries are not being classed as part of the LGBT, ABC, DEFG, who gives a fuck, put them in the helicopter, set the helicopter on fire, and send it out to the sea community. Xenophobic bigots and stereotyping of furries has become widespread in Trump's America. You know what Trump's America is code for, don't you folks? White America. First the Mexicans, then the Muslims, and now the furries. That reminds me of a poem. First they came for the communists, then they came for the faggots, then they came for the Negroes, then they came for the disability and welfare cases, and then they realized, only then, that their problems had been solved. Amen. Who will the Trump regime go after next? We here at NPC Daily stand with Blaze Thunderwolf and all people of fur and demand that this license be repealed. NPC Daily, if you keep on standing with these freak shows, I can't be your friend anymore. In fact, I think I'll need a restraining order and maybe a 12 gauge with a few bullets to stop you from bringing your furry friends to my house. Wasn't that fun, folks? Wasn't that a quick hour? You could almost say it was 10 minutes. It wasn't really an hour. But guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I've been your host, Roger Rockwell, and I appreciate you listening. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, comment, and share the show with your friends and your family, especially at the holidays. I want you to go to Thanksgiving dinner, and I want you to sit down, and I want you to start playing this podcast. I want you to get to the part where I'm saying faggots and everything else needs to be turned into fertilizer and jet fuel. And I want you to play that for your mom or your grandma. I want you to bring peace this Thanksgiving that's already gone. But thank you for hanging around, guys. Y'all have a good night.